Yes, us. Welcome to the Kefi Life Podcast. My name is Kiki Vale, and I'll be your guide to creating a life of Ola Kala, all is well. Together, we'll get back to the basics, and we'll explore fresh new ways to flourish in mind, body, and soul the Greek way. You can look forward to interviews, stories, essential self-care strategies, recipes, and actionable takeaway Ola Kala moments. This is going to be so much fun. Let's get going. Πάμε! Our Lexi for today is Pepóni. Pepóni, or melon. Nothing tastes as fresh and perfect in the summer as a ripe Pepóni. You can eat it alone or add something to it. One of my favorite melons, the honeydew, is complemented oh so well when you pair it with basil or mint or any herb for that matter, plus a piece of prosciutto. Oh, delissimo. Get creative with your melons when you add it to a salad, charcuterie board, or to your morning yogurt. Pepóni. Good to eat and good for you. I'm supercharged right now. I'm going to share some very exciting news with you. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. Kefi Life is offering you and yours the opportunity to get health in a bottle for $5. Yup, you heard me right. Our team has just launched the super blowout sale of our mini bottles of olive oil. That's right. Kefi Life extra virgin olive oil is making space for new design, and you're going to benefit from it. Mini bottles of extra virgin olive oil, high in polyphenols, antioxidants, and an elixir to reduce dementia and cancer, only $5 a bottle. These bottles are 250 milliliters inside. I call them minis. They're $5 each until supplies last. Two ways to get them. Cafe La Fortuna Coffee Shop at 46 North Village Place in Hinsdale, Illinois, or visit KefiLife.com. $5 super blowout sale for Kefi Life extra virgin olive oil bottles in the mini size or until supplies last. No minimum, no maximum. It's olive oil for all of you. Sending you kisses. Vilaya. It's the Kefi Life Podcast. You've got Kiki Vale with you, and I am so happy that you stopped by for this episode. It's going to be so much fun. Our team is spotlighting a small business that makes a big splash in my community, believe it or not. So, folks, when you and I visit a small business, like my parents' restaurant in Kansas City, Greek restaurant called Tassos, or you go to the fruit store in Hinsdale, Illinois, where we live, you and I and all of us are creating something called community spirit, and that's a form of wellness. And today I have invited a friend, somebody I've known for years, 30 years, to come to the podcast and talk about his, I think, small business. And today I'd like to introduce you to one of the owners. I think he's the owner. We're going to talk and find out. He's legendary. The fruit store is always busy. It's John Yurchek of Hinsdale Fruit Store. Did I say that right? Yurchek or Yurchek?
It's Yurchek.
Thank you. So it's John Yurchek.
Right.
John Yurchek.
Face of the franchise.
Face of the... You know, John, every time I walk into the Hinsdale Fruit Store, which I just love, and it's legendary in Hinsdale, I always think, John's the owner because you were there running the show. Tell me the story. How old is it? Are you the face of the franchise? Are you the owner?
I am not. I am not the owner. Don't want to be the owner. What I am is I am a lucky family member where this business has started back in probably in the late 1890s from the Western Spring Store, from the cereal family. Started horse and buggy.
Wow.
And then the brothers, the sons of that, the cereal family, Tony and Sam, took over probably in the late 30s and built the store that's currently in downtown Western Springs, which is called the Western Springs Fruit Store, where my brother and his partner, Alan Spigelis, started in 1979. And then 1982 comes along my brother, Mick, and they start the Hinsdale Fruit Store.
So are there four of you?
There's actually of brothers of the Yurcheks.
Yes.
Well, there used to be four brothers. Okay. Now there's three brothers. We have one brother, Jimmy, passed away.
Okay.
Back in 2015, but he was a part of us until he ended up moving out to Vegas, and he ended up doing his own thing.
Okay.
Which is wonderful. But. So we started the Hinsdale store, or my brother started in Hinsdale with Al in 1982. I came along in 1986 in high school, as, junior in high school, looking to get a part-time job. 1987, I graduate high school, and my brother's like, what do you think about coming here and working? I'm like, well, I can do it, but I want to go to school first. So, we're doing college DuPage. What am I going to do? I can do full-time school. I can do full-time work. So back in probably 1989, I'm like, okay, I'm finishing up COD, and I'm like, it's time to join the Marine Corps. Something my father, he was in the Army and stuff like that. It was always something I wanted to do. And I'm at the Marine Corps thing, and we turn the paper. I'm ready to sign it, and the guy's like, "Well," I'm like, "Let's think about this one more night, and he'll talk to my dad and my brother about it one more time." Well, it was that night where this all comes in around full circle. Is that the 3 key guys that were working at the fruit store end up deciding to start their own place up in Lake Forest, and my brother's like, "You know what? I need you working here at the store. I don't need you to go into the Marine Corps." So the rest is history. So probably in 1989, I would have probably been in the Gulf War and stuff like that. And, things have changed, but I can tell you right now, my life is quite nice. I have a great wife. I got a great family. Working with your family can be sometimes tough, but overall, we're all rowing at the same time. And that's the reason why we have a successful business.
It's very successful, and I love the story. I love the storyline. I always think, I like that you called yourself the face of the franchise, because when anybody comes into the Hinsdale Fruit Store, which we're going to get into the inventory here in a minute, which is another reason you're so popular, they come into the fruit store, they're like, "Where's John?" If John isn't there, we're like, "Where's John?" Like, where do you go when you're not there? I always expect to see you.
Well, the thing is that, as I'm getting older too, which is wonderful because, I got my brother Mick. We got his son Zach. Mm-hmm. We got my son Nick. We have Bob's son Steve. They're the much younger group.
Yeah.
It's a new generation.
Yeah.
It's like, and they have stepped up. These guys have done extremely well, bringing in new ideas. Because that's what you need to do. You need to grow. And that's why you need to bring in the younger kids. The younger kids,
they have all the ideas, and ideas are the wave of the future. I do want to talk about why your shop is so popular in our town. Our town is, it's a very close-knit town, I believe.
Absolutely.
We get a lot of people that come in from the city of Chicago, but the people that are here, they get very connected through school events, through charity, through that. At the Hinsdale Fruit Store, it never fails. I'll walk in and I know somebody. I feel like it's the Cheers of Hinsdale.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
That's what it was. And for all those that are way young enough not to understand what Cheers is.
Oh, you're dating me.
Yeah. Everyone knows your name.
Right.
And that's what it is. We treat it like a club. It's, people come in, they want to be recognized. Hopefully you have the best product, and that's the number one goal. But it's also known to be, to know everybody, to have their name, they know your name, their kids. It's a generational store. A generational store is what I mean by is like, Kiki, your kids, when they were little tots coming in, and now, well, guess what? They're going to get married. They're going to have kids. They moved into town. Now they're shoppers. We have this thing on our scale with all these kids. It's all babies. We weigh them on the scale and stuff like that. Well, guess what? Their parents were once kids themselves when they started back in the 80s and 90s.
That's such a beautiful social connection. It's a good way to feel connected, but also to celebrate family and to celebrate what you're doing. Even though you're a small business, it sounds like such a big thing that you're doing to carry on legacy and tradition and good values and so forth. One thing that you brought to me, which is why, well, before I ask you this, Brian wanted me to ask you a question. Brian's my husband. And he said, Kiki, you got to ask John a question. I'm like, what is it? Ask him how he remembers everybody's name. Because when we do walk in, you are very kind like that. And you do remember names. And you probably have a lot of repeat business.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? First of all, it's easy to understand your name because you are a very bright social person.
Thank you.
So Kiki's easy. But yeah, there's a lot of times, there's a lot of Jennifers, there's a lot of Sandys, whatever. But sometimes you'd actually, back in the day, you should write these things on a piece of paper and say, hey, that's Sarah. She drives a white car. And next time you'll remember her. Absolutely. We used to do things like that. Now you got a cell phone to do those things. And it sometimes it takes you a couple times. And sometimes people don't want to be known by their name, but most people do. And then, those that are quiet, guess what? They're not quiet anymore. So, which is wonderful because then you get to know their kids and make everyone feel like you said, community, being involved. making the kids order their own stuff rather than having the parents do everything for them.
That's one thing you do. I like at the fruit store, you have every age group coming in there. You have little kids from middle school, like even third, fourth, fifth grade, they're ordering their little smoothies, or somebody else is coming in to get their caramel apple, or somebody else is coming in like me to get their salad because you have a great salad bar. I always get ticked off when you close that salad bar early, like even if it's 5 minutes.
Well, so we like to tell people you need to take your nap a little earlier.
John they have a great salad bar. Tell us about the salad bar because everything's fresh.
Yes, absolutely. So it is daily done, first thing in the morning, cutting up all your extras and stuff like that. Wash, rinse, wash, rinse. I mean, you're constantly doing this. It's all hands on. Like most places, they carry salad bar. They get them already done for them in a plastic bag. It's got that unique, that taste that you really don't like. It's different than when it's open air, cut up fresh, wash it yourself. And that's done throughout the day. Once you're done with it, everything gets tossed, or obviously taken it home. But since we know about what you're getting and stuff like that, we have a pretty good eye on how much you're going to sell and stuff like that. And put it this way, our wives don't mind us bringing it home.
Absolutely. And you do a lot of chopping. And some of my favorites at the salad bar, you have the chickpeas, you have the pickles, you have hard-boiled eggs, the lettuce, the broccoli. I mean, you pretty much cover the gamut of what we need on our daily diet.
Yes. It's, it's late. And lately there's been a lot of new summer salads and stuff like that with high protein because everyone's looking for the high protein. Your edamames, you're looking for your garbanzo beans, your chicken, your eggs, like you said. It's trying to get into what's the new creative thinking of what's going on today.
I like that. You keep up with the times. And, I'm very proud of you, John, because you welcomed a new product. It's a healthy fat called Kefi Life Extra Virgin Olive Oil.
Oh, absolutely.
Love it.
It's one of our newer items because we do have that small town connection with a lot of people that have their own local flares that we call them, from anything from a chocolate sauce to a ranch dressing to homemade little tea breads. And now we have this new product that's olive oil from Greece.
Yes.
Would you like to tell me a little bit about it?
I love it. Well, the Kefi Life Extra Virgin Olive Oil, so you can pitch it when your customers come in besides me, is it's high in polyphenol. So the best thing to know about the Kefi Life Extra Virgin Olive Oil is from where it comes, Kalamata, and that it's one olive variety, the Koroneki. So it truly is exceptional and exclusive and truly a gift.
I really like the way you say it, but don't expect me to say it like that either.
I'm going to write you some notes and you're going to write it down. But anyways, I do thank you for sharing that and selling it. And I think it's a great addition to like your items because you have a lot of produce. And I love it. And as a matter of fact, we'll talk a little bit about produce because it's so good for you. And you know how people complain about, it's so hard for me to take the time to cut my produce and meal plan and all that. I love your chopped up sweet potatoes.
Yes. Yeah, that is a new item over the last year between them and the fresh cut fries, shaved Brussels sprouts. Doing a shaved Brussels sprouts salad is a very hot item with an olive oil.
Yeah.
These are just a new things. Like you say, coming into times, things that are changing, evolving. You're not gonna invent the wheel, but it's just to add on to the wheel.
Well, you're paying attention to what people want. You're thinking, I believe, with a health-minded business savvy, which I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it's smart to think about health-minded because people are, this is my husband again. He showed me this, that more people are leaning towards olive oil as gifts than alcohol.
Correct.
And that's because as we get older, the sugar doesn't do as well in our bodies and our immune system, and olive oil is such a healthy fat. Now, you could be Greek, although you're Austrian.
No, I'm not Austrian.
German?
I'm a European, Eastern European, probably in that Austrian, Ukrainian, Russian area.
Okay, so you're kind of a mix.
I am definitely a mix.
A mix,
yes.
A mix.
My wife's family is all from Austria.
Okay, that's what it is, because we were talking travel when we were in the green room, before we came over to the mics, we were having that conversation. And, but like I was going to say, like a Greek. Okay, so you're Eastern European, but like a Greek, you brought in a gift. You gave me something. You said, here, Kiki, and you gave me the Hinsdale staple, which is why I shop at Hinsdale Fruit Market at least twice a week, which is Is this the Hinsdale Fruit Bowl? How do we call this?
We call that the fruit salad.
The fruit.
Yeah, the fruit salad. That is your typical fruit salad there.
Wait a second. This is not typical. It's not typical. First of all, it's like 5 inches by 4 inches in a container.
Yeah, we call that a 2-pound container. So it's got a mixed melon balls of like honeydew, cantaloupe, pineapple chunks, seedless grapes, watermelon. We do have a grading system.
Oh, you do?
Yes. So the boys do, like on the melons, when we wrap them up, they have sweet, or they have tasty, or they have nothing written on it at all.
I've noticed that on your watermelon.
Yeah. So you want that sweet one, so soon we're going to be getting summertime sweets. But yeah, some people are like, they never paid attention to it, but it's like, we actually, when we cut things, we taste them. And it depends if it makes the cut or not. Now, sometimes in the middle of January, you got no choice. But, then we can steer them to something else. Berries are good. Pineapple's good. Grapes are good. My honeydew this week might be just okay. But we can always gear you towards something that's exceptional.
And I think that's the key to the food tasting well, is that when it's grown in season. So let's talk about June, because we're in June.
Correct.
What should we be grabbing as far as produce and fruit, like fruits and vegetables?
Right now, you're getting some South Carolina blueberries, and they've been very good. You're getting California. You're getting California strawberries. Once in a while you're going to get your things still from Mexico. Maybe some blackberries or some raspberries. Like right now, the blackberries, sweet as can be. People used to tend away from those because they were always so tart. But lately, I would say the last 5 years, we've been finding the Murano family in Chicago, where we get most of all our produce stuff from the international produce market. They really take care of us. They know what our customer clientele is like. So we're very blessed to have the Muranos, helping us out and stuff like that, because we've been with them since the beginning of the fruit store back in 1979.
That is outstanding. Relationships are so crucial.
Absolutely.
Relationships and community, and, what you sell is a reflection of your character with business. I believe, like the service that we give people, from your smile when we walk in the door. I remember once you said, "Hey, do you need help hand out to the car?" Because I had like 3 bags.
Correct.
So all of that ties into why I would come back to the fruit store. Besides the food being delicious, fresh, it's the personality, it's the greeting, it's the warm welcome. So in Greek, we call this, like when you handed me this fruit salad, as you call it, I wasn't sure, because I wanted to call it something more spectacular, because I eat it almost like twice a week. But that's a form of philoxenia. You offered me a gift, and that is wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to save it for Brian, even though I want to cut into it right now.
Oh, that makes you, that's very nice of you for him.
Yes. But that's wonderful. So now let's talk a little bit about the popularity and legendary aspect of the Hinsdale Fruit Store, because the location.
Yes.
Okay.
Nestled into a beautiful community where everyone knows everybody. We call it Mayberry.
Yes, I was trying to figure out how to label this.
So, I mean, obviously, everyone in town, either they're a finance person, a lawyer, a doctor. They own their own businesses, head of big corporations. They're nestled into Hinsdale. Even professional sports athletes. That's what you're talking. Now in the professional sports athletes, we usually get the more veteran player that has kids that wants to be into our public schools, which are outstanding in private schools. That we have St. Isaac's as the privates, and now we got the Pope. Hey.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations. The Chicago Catholic Pope. He's fantastic. Pope Leo.
I am going to be the first one to give him our famous Hinsdale Fruit Store melon balls. I'm sure he's going to like it once he gets to St. Isaac's sometime in the next handful of years.
Let's talk also about, you said sports.
Yeah.
So here's another question. Joel Quenneville used to come in. I think you have a huge picture of him in your...
We have a couple of them, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that got to be with, so we do have a Black Hawk picture, which is only signed by the women of the Blackhawks. So no players can sign that. So we have people like Deneen's, and we have Boo Quenneville, Lauren Campbell, and a few others that, were a part of the organization that it's just the wives. Now, we used to have a relationship with Boo Quenneville, Joel's wife. They would always come in. Now, congratulations to him. He's now got a gig in Anaheim with the Ducks.
Oh, really? Now, he won the Stanley Cup?
Absolutely. 3 of them with Chicago.
3?
Yes.
I couldn't remember how many. That's incredible.
Yes.
And he's nice in person because I met him at a Hinsdale Central game and he smiled at me and I was kind of nervous to say hello.
Yeah, they're as genuine as you can get.
He's a sweetheart of a guy.
Something about hockey players.
Something about hockey players. He's got that mustache, blue eyes. He was sitting in the stands. Nobody was talking to him. I said, hey, hello, excuse me. Are you Joel Quimville?
And he'd always go out of his way to say hello to you.
Yes.
Well,
fantastic.
his wife is just as equally as nice.
Oh, that's wonderful. So he got a new gig.
He's got a new gig in Anaheim. So I actually texted his wife, Boo.
Okay.
And I actually said, since they are the Anaheim Ducks, I said, congratulations, what the duck.
Good.
And she responded, thank you very much, quack, quack.
Good humor, sense of humor. Yeah. Good for you. See, you have fun. And these people, like your store, the Hinsdale Fruit Store, which is with your brothers, and it's, let's just call you the face of the franchise, although I will always view you as the owner.
No, yeah.
All right, let's just say it's a family affair.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair. And that's what makes it so special, is that really, truly, what else do we have in life, John, besides the good people that we meet?
Well,
and the food.
well, obviously, I mean, that's it. I mean, we are the fruit store. Yeah, we are based on quality first, but we're in the people relationships. That's what we are. I mean, our fruit should be top of the line. Absolutely. That, we always go right on quality first, prices second, but building the relationships, going back to the cereal family of the original fruit store. There was a 2-year period in 76 when it got sold to the Genta family. That store went downhill. And that's when Al and Bob stepped in 1979. And they hired Tony Cereal, the old guy who originally did, because he didn't like the way they were running it. They said, Tony, what should we do? He goes, let me greet the people. I'll show you how to do it. They put Tony on a stool. And every customer that came in, he would say, hi, Mrs. Anderson. Hi, Mrs. Smith. What can I get you? It was all about building relationships. And Al and Bob really understood that. And they brought it to today's business and what it is today.
And that makes somebody feel special, and it helps you build your business. It helps us feel important, and it's just like a win-win. And I think that, thank God we have small businesses in America. Yes, the big corporations are fantastic, and they're making money, capitalism and all that. But to have a family business is so much more than making money.
Yes.
It's teaching values. It's keeping families together. It's everything you described.
Correct.
So that's why we have to support small business, local, local. And I just am so honored to be a part of it. Like, I've been shopping there forever. What would you say in all your years of being there is like the most dominant, the most prevalent reason people come in? Like, we know that the food is good and there's quality and all that. Is it?
It's truly the relationships. I mean, look at today now. Look at your phone. You're looking at your computer screen. And what do you want to do? You want to order Amazon. Well, guess what you're doing? You're getting rid of the big box stores. You're getting rid of the small businesses. People want to be a part of something. It's having those relationships. And you know what? When I talk to somebody, sometimes you go to work, you get away, everyone's got their own problems. But sometimes you talk to somebody and everything's good.
And you know what you're good at, really, honestly, besides your work, is you always have a smile on your face when I walk in.
Yes, well, thank you.
You always, I don't know what your mood is, but you always have a smile on your face.
Well, it's definitely it's a reflection of our customers.
That's good. Thank you so much. Well, we're wrapping up here. There's so much more to talk about, but the Hinsdale Fruit Store is absolutely something you should do. Like, let's say you're traveling to Chicago, get on the train and go to the fruit store. It's really worth the visit. Or if you're local, Western Springs, Clarendon Hills, Westchester, do you get people from all over the...
We get people from everywhere. I mean,
I know people from Lake Forest that come.
Absolutely. People from the shore. We get people actually from the Sweet Alleys, the small business across the street from us.
Yeah.
People that need sweet street, things that are gluten-free.
Yeah.
They'll come to the fruit store now on Saturdays, even though they're an hour away.
Fantastic.
They'll just come to us.
That's a testament to everything that we've just described. That is just fantastic. John, 2 more things. I love that you're going to be taking a trip to Greece this summer.
Yes, we are.
And I think you're going to have a wonderful time with your wife, Carol, and your friends, the Carpenters.
Yes.
Who you've known forever and ever.
Correct.
And when you go to Greece, I'm just going to teach you something now.
What's that?
When you raise your glass and you have a glass of wine, or you have a shot of ouzo, or you have a shot of mastika, or whatever your drink is, you're going to say yamas.
Yamas.
And that's to our health.
All right. Well, there's a reason why my 3-year-old son or 3-year-old grandson calls me Opa.
When you told me that, I thought it was a joke.
No, we have Oma and Opa. I didn't want to be grandma. I obviously don't want to be grandma, but I don't want to be grandpa because that was my father.
Yeah.
You know, that was my dad.
Yeah.
And that was his legacy.
Yeah.
And my wife always wanted to be Oma. Oma is German, for grandma.
Yeah.
Because she had an Oma.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what do you want to be? And I'm like, do I want to be Opa? I'm going to wait for the kid to decide what he wants to call me.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to say Opa.
Opa. Now, you're a Greek. I'll tell you. When I have grandchildren, I will be Yaya. Brian will be Papu, I think.
Okay.
But Opa, I love it. I almost kind of want to call you Opa now.
Yeah, I truly I do enjoy Opa.
Would I offend you if I called you Opa?
No.
Okay, good. Yes.
No.
Yes. All right. So as we wrap up here in conclusion, I ask all my special guests this question, and you are a very special guest.
Whoa.
And if you need a moment to think about it, please do. John Yurchek, in my life, I've learned that
there are very good qualities in every person I talk to.
Hear, hear. Wow. That's That's a beautiful thing to say.
My glass is always half full. It's never half empty. And there's always something you can find, something good into somebody.
Let us all walk away with that and keep it close to us and adopt that.
I think that's a great idea.
Yamas.
Yamas.
Yamas. Today, I'd like to personally invite you to sign up for my Tuesday newsletter. Why? Because here I will directly communicate with you, sharing additional wellness content and promotions that our team has created for you in mind. I promise not to overload you, only further inspire you. Visit KefiLife.com today. Sign up for the Tuesday newsletter, bringing you one step closer to Ola Kala, all is well.
Kiki Vale is the founder of Kefi Life. She is passionate about whole person wellness and living a fulfilled life. Her Kefi Life podcast is created to simply and naturally help you harmonize the mind, body, and soul the Greek way. Visit KefiLife.com and check out Kiki Vale on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Join us again next time for more positive energy and inspiration on Kefi Life.